Ladies and gentlemen, it's your lucky day if you own a 10th Gen Civic with a 1.5 turbo. We're putting all these exhausts on our shop car and I'm going to show you everything about them and what they sound like. Hello, it's JP from EdgeAutosport.com. Thanks for joining us today. I have an insane video for you today. I think it's gonna be insane. I'm really excited to do this right now. This is a video I kind of haven't really seen out there on YouTube, so we're pretty stoked to bring this to you guys. A lot of you guys are 10th Gen Civic owners. We've had a lot of good engagement from you 10th Gen Civic guys. We really appreciate that. So I know you guys in particular are gonna really enjoy this video. I have a wall of exhaust boxes behind me right now. That's taller than me, although that's not really saying that much. If you really care, I'm 5'5", so not saying much, but still an impressive wall of exhaust boxes here. And we just decided to get crazy and we want to show you the gnarliest exhaust video for a 10th Gen Civic, specifically with a 1.5T obviously, because that's the one that we have, that's the one that we're gonna be using for this video. I know, like for me, anytime I've been searching for exhausts out there, you always wanna hear what they sound like, right? Like that's a very key thing for you to discover before you get your exhaust. It's a big purchase. Once it's on the car, it's on, and you have to deal with the sound, whether it's bad or good. So all these exhaust videos, like 99% of them are kind of tricky. You don't really know exactly what you want after watching one. You have to really search around for different videos. They all end up being recorded with different microphones and different methods, and you know, kind of half-assed some of them, we all know that. But we are gonna do a video with 7 different exhausts today on our car and just knock it all out at once. So you can literally shop for 7 exhausts, get the sound of 7 different exhausts of what you might want all in one video. You're welcome. We have a Greddy. This is the box from the new DDR, I think it's called, exhaust, with that really big fat twin tip kind of coming out angled out of the exhaust or out of the bumper. So I'm really excited to do that one. That's kind of I'm kind of hyped for that one the most. We have the Invidia. This is a triple tip. We have the Arc, the Borla, another Greddy with the 2 really large mufflers that you can see really clearly from underneath the bumper. And then we also have an HKS. So we have 6 boxes here. Now the 7th is gonna be the one that's on our car now. It's an AFE Power. It's the first one that they released with the 2 really big mufflers. We did a video on that exhaust way back when, but we did not have any of the downpipe or front pipe modified on that yet. So we're still gonna include the AFE exhaust that's on the car right now as part of this video because it sounds completely different than the exhaust video we did when we installed that thing. We have an off-road downpipe. So all these exhausts will be very clear sounding. They'll be as loud as you can probably get on the Civic. And so, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be the pure sound of all these. If you also have an off-road downpipe, this is exactly pretty much what these will all sound like. If you have an on-road downpipe, then it might be a little bit more muffled, a little bit toned down and quieter, but this way you'll get the real effect of like what these things are gonna sound like. So let's go over here to where we have them laid out on the floor really nicely, really cute. And I'm gonna go over each one of them really quick on a high level and just show you what the differences are. Okay, so here are all the exhausts, like I said. We just wanted to show you kind of just the basic like construction of all these. These are actually all really super unique, and even when you consider what the AFE is on our car, it's even, again, very unique compared to all 6 of these. So I'm just gonna kind of go from my left to right here and let you know kind of what the general makeup is of these exhausts. You know, they're all gonna be stainless steel. Actually, I don't think we have a single one that is made of even 409. I think all these are made of 304 stainless steel. So from a material standpoint, they're all really solid. Oh, and one thing I wanted to mention too is we actually wanted to put an 8th exhaust in here, which would have been the AWE tuning exhaust. But We had one of those on the shelf a little while ago before we were planning on doing this video, and we sold it to a customer, so we don't have one here, and they are all out at this current time, so I couldn't get another one right now. So we might do a video on just that one alone later on, but we'll leave that one out for today. So this is the Borla S type. I actually think they have a couple different types, but this is the more kind of settled down street version. This one has black tips. I think they also come with polished tips too as an option, but we got the black tips on this one. This is just a single muffler, dual exit, with a single entry into the muffler. So this one and the HKS are very similar designs, but the Borla has a little bit bigger muffler. So moving on to this one right over here. This is the Greddy. I think, like I said, I think the name of this one is the DDR. This is fairly new, just released from Greddy recently. This one is sick. I love this thing. It's got really nice TIG welds all over it. You can tell Greddy does a lot of machine welding, which is pretty cool. And this is a very kind of JDM-ish look, if you ask me. Two really fat, long pipes that come out the back, and I'm pretty sure these are like a little bit angled, but we'll find that out when we go to install it. But I'm looking forward to putting this one on. This is going to be cool. Next up is the Invidia triple tip exhaust here. They've got the burnt tips at the end. It's a single entry, so like it's not 2 or 3 different entry points into the muffler. It's still just a single, just a single pipe exhaust, but it just divides up into 3 different pipes here for the cool effect. And I'm kind of curious to see how this ends up sounding with 3 mufflers. It might. I really don't know what to expect, if it's going to really change anything. We'll find out for sure, but this is definitely the most unique looking. It's like super aggressive looking, and definitely should be pretty cool once it's on the car. So next up over here is the Greddy. I think this is the Supreme SP. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's the model of this exhaust. Huge muffler canisters here. And I know if you've ever seen a picture of this, you will see it on the car eventually in our video, but if you've ever seen a picture of these on the car, the mufflers, they hang down pretty low. Some people might not like that look. Some people might. Obviously it's all about what you like for your car. But we'll show you what this looks like on the car. And this is probably going to be a really, really nice sounding exhaust, really smooth, because of how much muffler material and how big the canisters are here. So polished tips on this one, super nice construction. This will be a nice one to put on the car too. And then over here we have the HKS. This is also a they're all twin tips except for the Invidia. So twin tip, kind of a smaller single muffler here. This one is a little bit unique. I think this one has 2.5-inch piping. I know it has 2.5-inch piping, which is the smallest of all these exhausts. If you're staying with stock turbo, that might be completely okay. We're not going to do any power stuff today. That's, we don't want to get into that. That's too much and too subjective, really. But so this is 2.5 inches. I think on a 1.5 turbo, stock turbo, I don't think you're going to see any, significant difference between this and a 3-inch. If you plan on getting a bigger turbo, I would say maybe stay away from this one, just to keep exhaust flow better on a 3-inch. But regardless, I mean, this is going to be plenty for a 1.5 turbo with a mild amount of power. So HKS makes really good stuff too. I'm sure this is going to sound really, really nice. By the way, we really try to pick products out that do sound nice, that are pretty high quality. So nothing here I expect to be really low quality, crappy sounding. This should all sound pretty good. And then last but not least here is the ARC exhaust. We've actually sold quite a bit of these. These are super unique. They have a Helmholtz resonator. You can see this is just kind of a dead end canister here, or dead end chamber. Don't ask me the physics behind a Helmholtz resonator. I really don't know, but I just know that a lot of nice exhausts use Helmholtz resonators to control the sound and really make it tuned. It's kind of like they're tuning the sound into the exhaust system, not just leaving it up to whatever the pipes and mufflers will do. So this should be a really nice sounding exhaust as well. So I'm excited to put all these on, like I said. So without further ado, let's go over to the car. We're gonna start with the AFE power, like I said, so we're not gonna install any of these yet. Oh, by the way, I was gonna tell you, in order to pick out which one that we're gonna do first and second and third, I'm going to draw out of a hat that came in the Borla exhaust. So in case you guys care, the Borla exhaust comes with a hat. At least it did for us. So I've got all these exhausts right here, listed one by one. We're gonna draw out of the hat to see what is first out after the AFE power. So let's see what we're gonna do here. So we're gonna do the Greddy big mufflers, which is this one right here. So we'll get to that one second in line after the AFE. So let's get going on this. Okay, so this is the AFE power exhaust. We have the carbon tips on this one. This one actually comes in like 4 different tip choices. This is the carbon, so twin exit right here. We're gonna put it up on the lift and show you guys, but I'm gonna take it out for a spin to do some audio for this video on this one, and then we'll show you what it looks like, you know, underneath the car once it's on the lift. Just got back from doing the AFE exhaust out on the road. So we're gonna take this thing off. We're trying to let it cool down a little bit. Watt pulls made it hot. We're gonna take off this under tray right here because the joint where the down pipe meets the, the front pipe meets the catback is only accessible after you at least drop this down. I don't want to do that 7 times, so I'm just gonna take this entire under tray off, starting with this first installation, and just leave it off for the rest of the exhaust testing stuff. So I'm gonna drop that, and then we'll get to work on taking the AFE off and start up with that Greddy that I pulled out of the hat. Bam. So AFE is off. Gonna go get the Greddy. I don't know if we're gonna finish this by the end of the day. Here she is. I'm already sweating after first exhaust, so that's really encouraging for finishing this project today. So Greddy exhaust is on. Let's we're about to start this thing up, see what she sounds like, and go out and get some road tests done for you. Exhaust numero dos. The chrome tips just don't fit quite as well as the black tips or the carbon tips from before, with our wrap especially. These mufflers are huge, so kind of an interesting look. All right, there's the Greddy exhaust, the big muffler one. Sound clips were done yesterday. We are continuing the following day. We had a hell of a time trying to get this thing to run correctly for some reason, not because of the exhaust, but ever since we finished the clutch install and then put it back on the dyno and tuned it, it acted completely fine on the dyno, but when we went out and did watt pulls on the street to do these exhausts, and we actually experienced this a couple times on the street before we started this exhaust video, we just kind of were experiencing some boost cut stuff, or really actually some cuts that we weren't familiar with, that we didn't know. So I'm not going to explain it to you, but we got that solved and figured out yesterday. It took several hours. We did not film any of it. We were so frustrated that we just needed to fix it and move on. It is the next morning. We are continuing the video now, so not that you're going to really realize that, but just to share a little story with you about where we're at. So anyway, we're going to continue this morning, and we're going to get this Greddy off of here and switch to the next one. I need to draw it out of a hat, so let's do that really quick. All right, I can see the Greddy one that I chose already. I'll take that out. So we're gonna do the Invidia next. So let's get started. Okay, we got the Invidia triple tip installed. Went fairly smoothly. One thing to note on the Invidia, it does have a resonator in the center pipe, in the first pipe coming off of the front pipe, or the over pipe. Got a big resonator right here. That should actually help sound quite a bit, along with the mufflers in the back. So we're gonna drop this thing and we're gonna go do the Invidia. All right, there was the Invidia. I was pleasantly surprised by the Invidia. With all these exhausts, they're all so different. You don't really know how they're gonna sound. That sounded really good. It has a very deep growl. Even at idle, it's like a deep, smooth tone. And then when you get on it, it's really smooth too. It's a little bit louder, if you ask me, than the Greddy that we just did. But super smooth, pretty deep, especially coming out of a 1.5. And a little bit loud on decel. Like when you get off the throttle and you're still in gear and you're decelling, it kind of gets loud, but it's not too droney, and even cruising, it really doesn't drone at all in this thing. So pretty impressed with the Invidia. We're gonna pull another name or another brand out of the hat and figure out which one we're doing next. So one thing about this exhaust actually is when it was fitted up to the car, it was a little bit tricky to get on. It was fairly easy, but once it was on, it was super, super tight. So this thing sits really nicely in the undercarriage of the car. This one, I would imagine, is probably one of the better fitting ones, just holding up tight to the car. So I like that. I like that. And we're gonna do the Borla. So Borla is up next. Let's do it. All right, folks, the Borla is hooked up. This one's a little bit different than the others because it has slip joints on it. So it actually takes a little bit of work to get that thing straight, but you kind of put it all on together. It kind of hangs kind of weird, and then you start tightening just one section, or loosening one section at a time, twisting it, putting it in position, then tightening it, you know, from there. So kind of a little bit finicky to install this one, but the slip joints are good because it's a really smooth transition from one piece to another. So this one has a resonator in the middle, muffler in the back, and let's go test this bad boy out.
God.
This is straight up race car exhaust right here. Well, we are officially over halfway done at this point. We got to take the Borla off, then we got 3 more to go. So yeah, let's take the Borla off. We'll draw out of the hat one more time and see what's next. Arc. I'm kind of excited for this one. I want to see what that Helmholtz sounds like, so let's go. Ooh, those pie cuts, that's getting a little fancy. If there's an exhaust that wins the style competition, I think it might be the Arc. This thing is, this thing looks very, very cool. Even though, you know, mandrel bends is good, it's a good thing, and some of this is mandrel bent. There's some really cool TIG welded pie cuts. So, just kind of an extra style factor on the Arc exhaust. Looks pretty good. Aesthetically, I think I might be on board with the Arc the most so far. It's really, really pretty. And one of these features this little kind of gold finish on the inside of that rolled tip there. Money, I like that. Get our Borla hat out, lucky hat. Picking one last one. HKS, which leaves the Greddy DDR for last. So we'll do HKS next. 2 more. Okay, so the HKS is on. Pretty straightforward install on this one as well. Really clean. This is a really clean piping setup actually. Small muffler up here, resonator up here it looks like. This one so far has been one of the easier ones to install, so I will say that. They're all fairly similar, so let's go take the HKS out, see what she sounds like. Last but not least is the Greddy. This big, fat twin tip. These things look crazy. I totally dig them. I'm sure a lot of you guys do too, but this is a super unique exhaust. And my personal kind of like most anticipated. I'm really kind of excited to see how this thing sounds. So I'm excited to put this thing on last. We might leave this thing on here, not sure yet, but we'll see how it sounds and how it does. That'll determine it. So this is the last one. Let's get it on, finish this thing. about ready to take out the Greddy DDR. I hope I'm calling that the right name. I feel like this whole time I haven't been calling it the right name, but maybe I am, I don't know. Anyway, this blast pipe looking Greddy. Getting ready to take this thing out. I really like the smoothness. Let me try not to die again here. I really like the smoothness of this thing. It's like not mild, but not crazy. Very smooth. Greddy's always made great exhausts since I can remember. Their mufflers make it really, really sound nice. So let's give it a go and walk, and see what this thing sounds like. After everything is said and done, I think, you know, these exhausts are it's all subjective, right? Some guys just like crazy loud, some guys like super mild, some guys like something in between. Almost everybody likes no rasp, no drone, which pretty much most of these don't have very much drone. If any drone, if anything, like I think the Borla had a tiny bit of raspiness to it at like a certain RPM, but again, the more aggressive an exhaust sounds, like the more you're at risk for kind of creating that type of noise. So at the end of the day, it's really about your personal preferences. But I would say this Greddy that we have on now is probably my favorite. The arc is so on point. It sounds so good. If anything, like I like it just as much, but it's just more aggressive, which on a street car I'm not super into. But both of them sound awesome. I don't think there's an exhaust that I disliked, in all honesty. It's just really which one would you have a personal preference for? So none of them were like, holy crap, I would never recommend that on any car. They all sounded good. I would say if there's a third, it's going to be the Invidia. I really liked the Invidia. Again, the triple tip is kind of an aggressive styling note, but you know, if you're into that sort of thing, the Invidia, in my opinion, would be a really good choice too. So that has a really nice smooth sound, nice aggressive sound. So man, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was kind of a handful putting on 7 or 6 exhausts in one day. We actually ended up finishing this video, I was gonna say that earlier, but we finished this video the morning after, because right when we were done installing this last exhaust, it started raining outside and we couldn't finish the video. So we would have been done in plenty of time, but didn't get there. So anyway, we are done now. We're done installing all these exhausts. I think I might leave this one on. Might switch to the arc, I'm not sure really, but let us know if you have any questions. Make sure you subscribe. We offer all these exhausts. Every single one of these exhausts is on our website. So if you want to see it, if you want to purchase it, if you want to ask questions about it, we're here to help you. Just let us know, and hope you enjoyed that video. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.